What would happen if all 7 billion people screamed at once? It would be loud. I think that's about it. A bunch of animals would freak the duck out. All humans and animals, screaming in sync. To the earth, bye bye bye. Would we all have to do the synchronized waves too? Because I'm starting to get into this. That would be extremely painful. You're a big guy. For you. I still wouldn't hear a thing. But you would feel it. I haven't felt much of anything since my guinea pig died. RIP. No, his name was Billy. A tree in the middle of a forest would fall. Or would it? It would. Dogs would bark. Dog will hunt. Jerry was a race car driver, 22 years old, one too many cold beers one night, wrapped himself around a telephone pole. Go. Bass slapping intensifies. Nothing. Just that. Sound decays too quickly to have any kind of combined amplification effect. I mean, you'd hear the people in earshot yell, but yeah, probably not much else. Maybe not even that. We'd prob just hear our own shouting or 9010. Obi-Wan would sense it. Cough drop sales would increase for a week. Rual Streetbits has entered the chat. We would all get ice cream. Actually, the prophecy just states that we all scream for it, not that we receive it. Translated roughly from the dead language of ice creamography to standard English, we'd get, I scream, you scream, we all scream, for ice cream. As you can see, the ice cream may not really care that we are screaming. Instead, it just stares with passive indifference, which only makes us scream harder. Where the hell is Rask Science? Ask Science. Do you mean deleted? That's what I was wondering. Once the mods wake up, most of this comment thread will be deleted. About half of us would wake up confused. According to the question, they'd be joining in on the scream. Sounds about accurate. Didn't say they would consent to joining in, they could just be sleeping then they wake up questioning why they just screamed. Sounds like it's what they call a nightmare. Blind people would probably freak the duck out. If you coordinate everyone on Earth to yell at once, I'm pretty sure someone will tell blind people so they can join too. Nothing would happen, but if the more interesting thing of everyone being in the same place and screaming at the same time. This XKCD could serve as an inspiration. What have you done to me? I never should have been told about this website. An hour has passed and I am lightheaded. What day is it? What would happen if they all farted at once? That's the best question I've ever heard and I want to try it now. On 3.1. 2. Okay, it's been 12 minutes, how long do I have to hold in this fart? When the sun rises in the west and sets in the east. The noise wouldn't even be a big deal if you're not in a crowded enclosed space. Even then, any permanent damage seems unlikely. The biggest thing that would happen would be afterwards, everyone asking why the hell everyone screamed at once. Some kind of super advanced global mind control. Were aliens involved? What was the point? Are they taunting us? All 7 billion people would scream at once. Let's do it in 3 days. There was a thing at the beginning of the pandemic lockdown where people were howling at the same time every night. The aliens listening to us would be pissed, and have to turn the speaker down. Other animals besides just Horton the elephant would hear us. Yup. Who? Magma monster at the Earth's core wakes up and bellows at all of us to shut up. Superpowered monkey has to save day. There is a well-known short story about a king that proclaimed that at a certain moment all the subjects of his kingdom, all his subjects were to stand outside and exclaim, "All hail," name, or some such nonsense. At the appointed time the king positioned himself on a hill near the largest city of his kingdom. All he was able to hear was a single young shepherd boy in the distance say the chant as loudly as he could. The answer to the question, what would happen if all 7 billion people screamed at once? Is not much. The 674 million people who didn't just randomly start screaming will become extremely paranoid about the ones who did. Noise pollution. It would be as if 7 billion voices suddenly cried out in terror. X800000000. Have you ever seen the footage of Vancouver during the 2010 Winter Olympic gold medal hockey game? The entire city erupts at once when Canada scores the game-winning goal in overtime. The pressure wave released would cause the Earth's tectonic plates to shift, cause massive volcanic eruptions worldwide. It would also cause tsunamis across the globe. The ocean level would rise as the ice caps melt, leaving only the highest peaks above water. I am currently working on a device that will cause this very event to happen. And nobody can stop me. My fortress in the highest peaks of the Himalayas is heavily guarded and impenetrable. Bwahaha. Dogs would be scared. The Earth would take a screenshot. Tremor in the force. We'd all get ice cream. My neighbor would throw a fit and probably bang the wall for at least a day. I say let's do it. I'm pretty late to this, but my city was doing this at the beginning of lockdown last year. I'm not sure who started it, but it became a thing for people to go outside every night at 8 p.m. and start howling for 3 minutes. At first it was loud enough that you could hear what sounded like a concert on the other side of town but with howling instead of cheering. Then day by day, people stopped howling and eventually it was about as faint as hearing a dog from a few blocks down. It was surprisingly cathartic. I wish we still did that. We'd probably feel a little bit better. It would be like if you played all of the Lego City Hey. At the same time. The big scream, the end of the universe. My ears would hurt. The rumble will call all titans in the Great Wall and around the world into action. It would destroy the entire planet. Obi-Wan would feel it. Not that much different than if your whole neighborhood screamed at once. Screams don't travel that far. We already know what it sounds like when 60,000 people scream at once, and it's pretty loud and can be heard for quite a distance. But that's when you pack them in tightly to a bowl-shaped structure. Also, if that were happening in your scenario, other people wouldn't really hear them BC, they would also be yelling. It might do something psychically to know that yourself and everyone else in the world were screaming at the same time. It might be kinda cool. I would wear earplugs though. My kids are ducking loud. Let me answer technically. The sound attenuates very fast, approximately inversely proportional to the square of the distance it travels. So you would hear screaming only from your neighborhood. It also depends on from where someone is screaming, top of the building or bottom of the house. Thus, screaming from 7 billion people would be equivalent to screaming from about 100 to 500 people. It would really freak anyone named once, that's for sure. Are you really that unaware of yourself and your surroundings? We all do. Often. Constantly. If we harmonize, we can call the aliens. Rah. The Death Star would blow up our planet. Aliens will tell us to shut the duck up. Earth would be a Disney movie and the aliens would be spooked. It would open a gate to another dimension and a cosmic entity personifying screams will emerge. It would then scream so loudly that the universe would reset itself. Well, we first have to be picked up by an elephant who's trying to save us from genocide. Is this what we are doing for COVID frontline workers now? One ducking Karen would call for the manager. Doesn't Mexico do this? The metropolitan area would get louder for a few seconds, the rest of the world wouldn't have notice.